The J more the very best reviews. Tell them none can contest me on.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm here to talk about P-Valley episode 6 with the lovely Kelly Lee. What's up, Kelly?
Hey, Jay. Happy Sunday.
Hey, happy Sunday. Good to be back.
Thanks for having me.
As always, glad to have you. Always, good. Definitely. Shout out to you with the P-Valley intro.
Teamwork make the dream work, Jay.
That's right. You know, you got all excited now on the Valley train. So this episode was deep. They've been coming with deep episodes this season. And this one got real heavy, and it was kind of tricky. A lot happened with Mississippi, big tweak. Then finally went to the limit. We just see a lot of stuff happening, little murder. Maybe he may change his name around and other things.
You know, I had to change that name around, man. Jeez.
Yeah, I would definitely change my name. Yeah, Wody. So overall, what's your first impression? Episode 6. And on the scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it?
Okay. Wait, Jay. You made me give a number before the MOORESCORE? All right, so let's just see what I say up front, and let's see if the MOORESCORE, gels with my original one. All right. So I thought that this episode was extremely touching, extremely emotional. It drew out a lot of emotions inside of me, so I can't wait to talk about it all. But I would give it a 8.59.
Okay. All right. It was definitely
a couple little things that I didn't even say didn't sit well with me, but just didn't happen, And I'm trying to think about the MOORESCORE rules. So
it's all good. This the case code right here, so we'll see.
Right.
Hey,
everybody.
Hey, definitely. So overall, I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was a good episode. We see that Mississippi is starting to get some courage and get the hell out of there, but she done waited so long and so late that she ain't in a good position to get out of there. What did you think about seeing her try to escape and how this psycho is one step ahead of what she was trying to do?
Well, I think that anytime someone who is a victim of domestic violence gets the courage to go is the right time, right? And unfortunately, her kids had to suffer the abuse, prior to her getting out of this, because she knew, the backstory episode was such a telling episode because he's been getting violated. He said to her, he was getting beat like that at the 3-year-old's age. So, it's the right time. As long as you get the courage, go. If anyone is in domestic violence situations, you think that you're alone, but you're never alone. There's somebody who's out there, whether it's a stranger or someone familiar. The right time is anytime you get ready to get up and go. Preferably sooner than later, you know what I mean? But right. I'm happy that she did it. It's just sad that it turned out that way.
What you think about how this dude stole the battery out the car? He ain't just disconnect. He took the battery out.
But that's telling. When I saw it, I wasn't surprised. You know what I mean? She should have known better, because look at that, right? Remember, He was tracking her phone from how long? So he monitoring all her movements. He been that guy.
Right. So that's why she left her phone there.
Exactly. When she threw the phone down, I was like, good move. Because he watching where you going.
Right.
Yeah.
But she had a gun too. Now, I knew she wasn't going to shoot him as soon as he walked in the house, but I don't know why she ain't used it after he done beat her up like the other day when her face got beat up. I don't know. What do you think?
Because she's a victim. Sad to say, she's a victim, and then her spirit is already broken. So at this point, you saw she had it hidden. You know what I mean? She was already broken. I'm sure she was scared as hell, putting a hot ass iron to my face. Just her plea was ridiculous because it was like just anywhere but my face. The fact that she said but my face means she's so accustomed to the abuse, she's willing to take it anywhere else. You know what I mean? But I'm glad she got the gun because that's what Haley told her to get it for. Haley put her on like, look, I'm about sharing. So
Right.
Here's the combination. When you're ready, do it. That's why I don't think we saw any reaction from her because once it wasn't there, she knew where it was.
Yep, that's a good point.
Yes, give it to her. Let's see her use it. I would like to see her use it. I hope that she does.
Instead of pointing to that diamond.
That was sad. That was really, really sad when she did that. But her backstory explained why she did that to me. Because I'm not sure if Derek was her first boyfriend, her first sexual encounter, right? But he was her first,
Okay.
right? And when you do the calculations, Jay, they're young as hell.
They only supposed to be like 23.
They 23 and under.
Yeah.
No, not over 20. Nope. Because she got with him. Remember, she got with him in
Like
the car that
18 or
night.
something, yeah.
Say she got pregnant right out of high school after prom or whatever the case is, and the eldest is 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not older than 23. They're very young, and all she knows is the abuse. All we know, we don't know if the father was doing anything to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Right.
she got kicked out the house, couldn't go back, and all kind of stuff. So
Right.
she
And
kind
so
of
they're
got
just-
forced in
they're
that
just-
situation, even more so.
So she's accustomed to violence in her relationship, and he is still all she knows. So even though he's abusing her, he still is her security.
Right, that's true.
So that's how she could point the gun to Diamond because he's just all he knows. It just makes sense now. Before it was like, but now, you know.
Right, she's all conflicted, and now we know why with that last episode.
He's broken.
Yeah,
And
speaking
even
of
if he
Diamond, what you think with him? With what's old girl name? Big Bone.
Big Bone.
Big Bone, boy. I love the way she was talking, boy, and I ain't talking about her accent. She was very direct and
She
straightforward.
was very direct. Yes, clearly she knows how to use her mouth.
In more way than one, I'm telling you, boy. What you think about Big Bone and Diamond little new relationship? Where do you think that might go? Or is it
Well,
just
of course,
a fling?
it confirmed that Diamond has passionate feelings for Mississippi because clearly he can't get her out his mind.
Right.
Even though he's being strong and, you know, like, get out of here, you know, he's still got her hard on his mind. So we learned this now, so it's confirmed. But, Jay, so I don't know. Do you think that Big Bone is an agent?
Agent, like the Matrix.
Do you think she's an agent?
I don't know. That's a good one. I think she liking him, and she used to getting what she want. And who knows? She may have another little trick up her sleeve. But I'm not really sure about her just yet. I think she may know a little more about that ring, though, than what we may think right now. I think she knows who that is that own that ring, and she probably is trying to get close to Diamond to confirm or, know more about what happened with Montavious. So, I don't know. What
So,
you think?
who's the second? So, you think if she knows about the ring, then who you think is her handler?
That's a good one. Who you think? Do you got any ideas? Somebody from Montavious people?
It could be.
Right.
What would be the coincidence if she's a double agent? Because remember, Haley picked her out.
That's true.
Haley picked her out, so she could be making alliances. And when she went into the room, she looked directly at the ring. And remember, Haley wanted to take the ring, but Diamond was like, nope, that's there for protection or whatever the case may be. So she knew.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's what, do you think Haley introduced these new girls in there to create diversity? Because the family is all for Uncle Clifford. Now, Haley has Numi in there.
For
so
her.
she can have her peoples in there. So you never know, because she grabbed the mic from Mercedes to be like Big Bone.
She did. Yeah.
She did.
So she made sure Big Bone got her bones up in there.
Hey, if I wanted to get some information, I'd get the person who I pick. Like, I saved you. I got you here. Do this for me. Just saying, Jay.
That's a good point. That's a good theory. We got y'all heard it here first. From Kelly.
Even if I'm wrong, you still heard it here first.
Hey, for real, the way it go nowadays, people will repeat your wrong stuff just to try to seem like they got something going on. So, you never know. But that is a good point. So, I mean, we see that they branching off from working at the bank when they got them working online. The bank should have the place just having the girls in there dancing and putting it online.
I thought so too.
Yeah, but what you think about old boy talking about he'll pay $2,000 just to get some of that sandwich?
He got money to go. He got to be an ultimate scammer then, because he got money to blow, okay?
Ultimate scammer. He got a PPP loan.
Hello. It coincides with that time frame, right? So there you go, Jay. There you go. But I thought that scene was a little bit crazy. But it does show, the jealousy between women. Whether you in the strip club, but no matter where we go, sad to say, there is jealousy amongst women. And then, of course, you put in the white and black dynamic. You know what I mean? So she's looking at like, wow, you gave me one stack to get on my knees. Now you giving her two for what? For nothing?
Right, to get on your knees. I know, right?
Exactly. So it's like, she looking at it. I would look at it like that too. Like, what the frick am I? Chopped liver? Dang. You giving her more money to pleasure her.
That's true.
Yes, and it could be because
she could have. You get what you accept in life too. So if she just said no, give me the two, or I ain't doing it at all, then
She said she a hodo.
She did, right? I was just about to ask you. You say the dynamic between white and black. What's up with the white dude pushing all up on her? And she said, "But I'm a hoe."
He said he a hoe too.
I know, right? They about to get their hoe down.
He got all gawky like when he first saw her, right? He was on her when he first saw her, like. So it didn't surprise me. He going after what he want. And I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, I mean, he wanted to get up on her, so we'll see where that take her. I think it's some kind of setup, or that dude was some type of shady kidnapper, or I don't know. It just didn't seem right.
Or it could be that she was the one, remember, who saw them drop the pills.
That's true. Yeah, that's right. That was him. I don't know why. He looked different without that hat on and stuff.
Yeah, that was that guy.
That's right. That's right.
But listen, if I put a knife in your mouth and you don't say nothing, then damn. Because you remember she put that knife in his mouth? I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Real crazy.
Real crazy. So, all right, we see Lil Murder has been celebrating his boy, his buddy. His buddy. He been celebrating him. Bought him a car, a Dodge Charger for his buddy.
Yes.
And it seemed like everything was going good, but we see when he went in that house that he was staring at that boy that was dead in the closet and just tweaking out. Then we learned that his mama killed everybody and he ran away and was survived, and that's basically been tormenting him the rest of his life. as well as some other stuff maybe that we can't confirm or deny. So, with him saying all of that, he then went to the ultimate level. What do you think about that? And I know Lil Murda like, well, damn, at least let me get out the car. Damn. But
no, he said he's staying.
He did say that, but then he didn't know he was going to still continue to do it, I'm sure. He thought him staying would made him stop.
I think he knew and just didn't want him just to be there alone because he saw what was happening.
Right.
They didn't let him do it alone, you know?
Mm-hmm. What do you think about what happened with him and why he did that and the way he was just tripping? They went out with their last little date together, got their own little chicken wing, you know what I'm saying? Shared that cornbread.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just the saddest thing, Jay. It's the saddest thing because when he gave the little backstory, it was just like, wow, that was ultimately traumatic what he suffered as a child. Like your mama, for whatever reason, it could be substance abuse, it could be mental illness, for whatever the reason is, she killed your siblings, right? And he, the only survivor out of it. I mean, that had to be traumatic. What did he say? He was like 8 or something like that?
7 or something like that. He ran out, ran to the neighbors or something.
He was still tender aged. So to have grown with that, and people who commit suicide, they have a disconnect in understanding. They feel like no one understands them, right? So it's like you could be in a room, a crowded room, and feel so alone. You could have family that they're talking to you and still feel like no one is hearing you because you just don't think that someone understands what you're going through to even relate to them. Do you see when he said his light is gone? Even though his friend, his lover was there pouring out to him that he was there for him and everything is going to be good, he disconnected from that. His light was gone. He had no more light inside of him, even though he had someone there. And people who sadly go through and commit suicide, they have the disconnect that no matter how many people are there, like they just can't understand. So I'm in this really by myself. You know what I mean? And that was just such a sad, I mean, oh gosh, it was so sad. But I just don't know what else to say. It's just, to me, it was so sad. Yes, he definitely suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder from a child. Having your siblings murdered by your mom at that tender age and having to grow with that, you're not going to have a cookie cutter life. You absolutely, I don't care if you get adopted by the best family and most loving family, that elephant will always be in your room.
That's true. And truth be told, said he had the trauma from childhood, then incarcerated. Little Murda was all he had, brought me to tears. You spoke about Little Murda being all he had, and then when Murda started telling him about Cliff and that baby arm,
yes,
it was a wrap. He knew he couldn't compete with that, huh? What do you think about when he was saying that?
Okay, so I have a lot to say right here. Let me try and sum it up real quick. Because he said certain things that show that Little Murda was all he did have. And Little Murda is in love with Uncle Clifford. He never denied Uncle Clifford because, you know, you have to talk, whether somebody's incarcerated or they go away for a while. Like, I know you moved on. They'd be like, nah, I ain't move on, da-da-da-da-da. No, when you're serious about somebody, you claim them. So he claimed Uncle Clifford, right? And so at that point, he knew that, yes, Lil Murda loved him, but he was not available to, well, tell me his name again.
Big Teak.
Big Teak. He wasn't available to Big Teak anymore, right? He still loved him, but he wasn't available to be in a loving relationship with him like that anymore.
They just buddies.
They just buddies. Yes, right? So all of that could have cemented, this is my final day. Like, when you see the end, you could see from the beginning when they left, it was like, where you want me to take you? Before he went to the house. You know what I mean? But he wanted to get rid of him from jump.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, Jay, let me tell you, from last episode, I knew he was going to kill himself.
I remember you saying that. A lot of people ain't heard that. That's why I get you on here. But yeah.
Right. So here's what happened, right? He was so erratical. Now, you just come out of prison. Now, if you don't know, clearly there's a difference between jail and prison. So we don't know how long, in fact, at least I haven't tapped into how long he was there. But you just come out of prison and immediately go on the road. No time to settle down, to get into your emotional state, because the people around you like, oh, well, we partying, we doing this. But they're not tapping into the fact that that person was just institutionalized for how long, on a schedule, on command. They're not acclimated to freedom. They're not acclimated to that. Even if I'm acting all this way, you accustomed to waking up at a certain time, eating at a certain time. You're structured in an institutional capacity. So you ain't functioning like me. You can't function like me.
Right.
But we interact like if, boom, you just want to come outside. Boom, we want to do this. He didn't even give him a chance to breathe. Because we're thinking we need to fill up the gap that you've been missing for so long, right? And he was just going, you saw he was erratic. He was just spazzing at everything. He couldn't control himself.
Right. And he's still operating prison style.
Right. And he was very protective of Lil Murda. You know that.
Like they was back in the cell.
Right.
Ready to fight for everything.
He was out of control. He was spinning out of control. And remember, it had the killing of the black person on the radio, on the TV and stuff.
Right.
There was a lot of things was going on inside of him all at once. He didn't have a chance to take it easy and figure anything out. It was too much. It was straight up and down too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you find out he been suffering from since he's a child, on top of everything.
Right. Probably never had any counseling.
Never.
Right. Raphael Eccles said, did anyone see the devil on the wall in the barbershop behind the pic of Robert Johnson? You know, Robert Johnson sold his soul on the crossroads. At least that's what they said for this
I didn't see that. No, I
saw
didn't.
It was like a shadow of the devil right over his right shoulder. It was a big full size too. And it was
I don't see the devil with my angel eyes, Jay.
I hear that. But yeah, it was there. And I was like, oh, snap. What the hell?
Right.
But yeah. You know, this episode had a lot going on. What do you think about how the place that Lil Murda went to was Uncle Clifford? If I was him, I'd be worried that the police may think I shot him. You know.
Well, they could, but you know, the evidence will reflect different. But he did have his hand on the gun. Remember, he took it out the glove compartment. But
yeah,
right. But I mean, whenever you're emotionally stressed, you go to your loved ones. And he loves Uncle Clifford, so there was no other place he could have went but there.
And Cliff let him in too. He wasn't.
Because he loved him too. He loved him too.
He saw it was serious.
So Jay, let me say something, right? Emotional Kelly now. I could now empathize with the members of the LGBTQI community in saying this, right? For all the years that they were not represented on TV, they had to look at people and say, well, maybe they could envision themselves as the significant other, right? And because they didn't see their kind of relationships broadcasted. Right. I'm not going to tell you a lie. I can envision myself as Lil Murda's significant other. I was picturing him talking to me, Jay. He was talking to me. He romantic. He loving. He all of the stuff that I want. He got it. Okay. We see when he was telling Big T, Big T was like, remember, he thought they was gonna push him in the closet and rip him a new one. And then he saw in jail. And then Lil Murda was in there with the candles and the sandwich and stuff like that. He been showing he love from 19 how long, Jay. And I love it. I'm here for it. I love it. I love it. I love when that's my part when he took Uncle Clifford under the stars in the car. This man been, Jay, let me sip on this tea. But I definitely could understand how they would put themselves in heterosexual, positions because they didn't see that, because I'm straight up and down putting myself, I'm a little murder in my head. He with me. His love is for me.
I hear that. Do you think that he is in danger of losing his career if it finds out? Because we see that the ladies love him when his music was on the radio and he's starting to blow up. What's gonna happen if they find out now that this guy done killed himself? It may bring more attention.
It's going to hamper his music career, because remember when he had the conversation with Uncle Clifford last season? He said, "Remember what happened to the two gay men? What happened to the two dykes? What happened to the this?" With their area, they ain't supporting that. So Uncle Clifford is like, "No, we cannot come out with the relationship. So hence." He can't come out with that. It's going to be career suicide, Jake.
If he go national,
that's why Wody had to Wody it up. Okay.
Wody don't play.
Wody don't play. He had to deal with that.
And he just started to tell him he know how to handle stuff, but the battery went out.
I know.
So Wody, he won't mind. He a funeral home director. He like
exactly. He the right one. He the right one for the job.
They like, hey, that's just more customers, baby. Just more clientele.
Oh, yeah, exactly. This is normal to him. He does.
Right, definitely. So
bury him in a Versace suit.
I know, right? So yeah, man, we'll see how it all turn out. I think a lot of happened in this episode. It was a good episode. I enjoy it. Let me go ahead and give it a Mosco. All right.
Wait, Jay. I just want to say before the Mosco that Mercedes.
Oh yeah, we forgot that part. Let's talk about
and her Minaj thing. Oh, Jay.
Messed that money up. He wouldn't have took that money from me. We'd have been fighting in there that night.
Now that's the part that gave me a glitch in the MOORESCORE, right?
Yeah, that didn't add up. I don't know no woman or man with money on the tray in front of you. Yeah. First of all, she should have put it up in her bag or something right when he brought it out.
Right, like I need my money before I give y'all the experience because I'm here already, so I'm putting that work. Right? So that part was a little glitchy. However, here's what happens to me. When the wife, I can't remember her name, when the wife called her on the side, right? I thought that it was a connection there. I was surprised when she put the money on the nightstand. She saw it in the morning. Because I thought that they had some sort of connection, which to me panned over into the when she came again. And Mercedes was like, listen, you don't want to mess up my bag, don't you? Like, chill. So I think that woman had a connection to her. However, I'll just say this and then I'm done. It's either she really love her, sorry, that's too harsh. It's really she into her, and she gonna find a way to get us some money. I don't know if she could get all, but she gonna find a way to get us some money, because she did say that's not what we do. Or she planned to take her husband, woman, so that he could leave her ass alone and keep that money in the family.
Okay, I see that. I was a little taken back by why he was tripping so hard like that.
Because no man want his side chick and his wife together.
He brought them together, though.
No, he just wanted to not have confusion between them. He wanted Mercedes to himself. and he wanted the wife's permission so he don't got to do the crazy bung around back and forth. Da 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 da. He didn't want that, but he don't want them together. That's why she lied, but to sneak her over there. But they no man gonna want these two having their own thing. Maybe a menage, maybe all three. But when he realized, wait a minute, you knowing what she like, you doing what she. What?
I wouldn't necessarily want them to have their own thing, but if they was into each other while we all doing that little threesome thing, I mean, what he didn't want her to touch her. I mean, he mad she was good at it.
Listen, not only that could have done it too, because remember when he stopped and was like, well, what's really good? They was just like,
yeah,
right?
I know, right?
So he couldn't even get to finish the job. Like, damn, my wife took care of the business and boom, boom, boom. Right. Mercedes was
for him, not them.
Not for them. Exactly. And that he didn't want them together. He just didn't want no confrontation in regards to him being with the other woman that he'd been trying to get with from he was a different person in season 1.
Right. Shout out to Barika with the super chat. Hey, thank you. You said the scene was realistic with Mercedes and the couple. She forgot it was strictly business with wife. She did forget. Right. She definitely forgot and got into the moment.
They had that moment. You know what I mean? And like, to be honest with you, she shouldn't have crossed the boundary. But I was shocked as hell that the wife left the money, because I was like, oh, the wife is into her.
She probably didn't know what to do, though. She probably was into her, but didn't know if I should pay or not pay. I best to just pay, and then,
because they met each other for a transaction. Right. They didn't just meet each other like, I picked you up at the bar.
Plus, she tricked her because she thought it was Coach that was coming, so she came for money. Trick her. Yeah. So by the time you realize it's not a trick no more, leave, because you know what you're there for. Maybe she just didn't want to disrupt the whole groove because she needed the wife's approval. That's true, because then the wife could have started saying she don't like her. Right, or she don't approve, because remember she said if you didn't approve, I'd have just been like declined. Right. That's true. Shout out to Barika for the super chat. Here go what Coach thought he was about to get into. Coach was mad. He like, hold up. That's funny. All right. Yeah. Now let's get into the Mosco. All right. All right. So, 4 categories, 25 points max for each category. First category, visual cinematography. I like the angles that they used in this episode, the location, all of that stuff. It was good. We got to see Diamond's place and, seeing that old girl ain't taking care of the mansion with her daughter and now her daughter and stuff, how they showed that now she pregnant by us reading the birth control with them. Yeah. And so, it's gotten crazy. But overall, I would give this episode visuals or cinematography a 20. Very good. Not the, greatest thing ever seen, but very good for what it is. Storyline and plot. I like this storyline. They hit you with a lot of different angles with all the people. We also saw Autumn Night get to go up in there into the auction and other things. And then she got with Andre at the end, boy. Woo! That was fire. I liked it. Yeah, definitely. As well as all the other plot points that we talked about. So this episode, I would give, I'm going to give it a 25. Yeah. This was a really good episode that talked about and covered a lot of stuff in just 1 hour. That was a lot for 1 hour to talk about. Really was. Yeah. special effects and makeup. If they would have showed him actually shoot himself and it looked, I know what you're saying, but I'm just saying if they would have showed it and it looked real like how they do in these other movies with guys getting shot in the head or something, then that would have been different. They did do it in a tasteful manner.
Yes, they did.
Right. So it wasn't any real special effects or costumes. They put the blood on him, but it was on the right side. It should have been on the left. But that's all small things. For the most part, I would give...
Mississippi's bruises were good.
Yeah, her bruises was good. It did look like she got punched in the face. That dude is crazy. But overall, I would give it about an 18 for special effects, makeup, costumes. It wasn't really too much going on there. But it wasn't bad. Entertainment, fun factor. This was a really entertaining episode. I enjoyed it a lot. And I would give it a 25 for entertaining fun factor, which would bring it to a total of an 88 on the MOORESCORE. 88.
I agree.
Yeah, it's almost a 10, but not quite. But it's better than an 85 or an 8.5. So it's closer to not a 10, a 9. It's closer to a 9 than it is an 8.5. So I give it an 88. All right. Put the 88 in there. Now looking at how the MOORESCORE came up with it, what would you think? 88, 90,
I agree.
85?
I agree.
Okay. Yeah.
I agree.
So, before we go, let's do one more question. Unapologetically Black said, so how many seasons P-Valley have? Anyone? It's only 3 seasons so far.
2.
This is the 3rd season.
I thought this was season 2. My bad.
This is
Well,
season
so for
3.
everyone who doesn't know, I just been started.
Is this season 2 or season 3? Maybe I'm tweaking over here.
Season 2, episode 6, Jay.
Okay, so this is season 2. Look at that. I watch too many dang on shows.
Yeah, you do. You got a lot.
Yeah.
You got a lot of shows in. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is season 2. You're right. I stand
so you
corrected.
can go watch it.
Yeah, so it's 2 seasons, and they only in the 6 out of 10 episodes for the 2nd season. The 6th episode came out tonight. So I think that the rate they going, they could easily get 4 to 5 seasons, because you could just follow where these girls go and stuff. If they end up selling the club and other things, then that's a whole lot of money. Clifford tripping though, because yeah, I know they should try to sell and relocate and build a bigger, better one.
They got the property, Jay. I don't know about that. You imagine how much money that I don't know.
They wasn't having that much money in there. You see the conditions they in.
It's a strip club, Jay.
Yeah, but Clifford
you mean
broke.
with the debt.
Yeah, Clifford broke, and he ain't say if she said, look, if we sell for the 10, I'll give you 2. That he wasn't about to see no 2 no time soon.
There's 2 or 3 of them, I can't remember, but yeah, so that's the part of the, okay, so let me just say this before we go, right? I don't mind Haley Autumn. I think that if you separate her character out of the emotional family frame, that you will make the same move she making.
Damn right.
She don't know them. She's not emotionally attached to them as friends and family. The family, Gina. So she doesn't have that loyalty and or commitment to them, right? So I think her moves are strategic, and I'm all for it. We're going to find out her backstory, because we need to find out what really, really happened. Was she really abused? Because remember, she's still going as Savage. She's still using the Savage. When she spoke to the lady, she introduced herself as the Savage. She didn't use her real name now, even though the guy's dead. So Still want to know what's up with her, but I'm not mad at her. It's just that she's going for what's hers. Is clashing with a family unit who wants to protect themselves or each other. But wait, when it came down to bailing out Mercedes, she, whether it was agenda driven or not, she was the one who put up that money to bail out Mercedes with the $5K.
Right. And
nobody else could pull it together.
I think if Clifford was the one to stand to gain the 10, then he would do it. But since it ain't him, it's her, he mad.
But Clifford still got emotional attachments to it, as far as the legacy of the place with Grandma and that's because he continues to say, he'll bring you into this place so you can get out of this place and do something for yourself. So he has a lot of emotional attachments to it, but that 10 mil is a different story. You know what I mean? He could get another place and put them in there and still stack half of that sucker, or, whatever the case may be. But I don't think that Haley is making terrible moves. She's making good moves for the position that she's in, and she's still helping out, because you could tell she's not all that terrible, because she came back from Mercedes. She could have left her with that madman in there and just left with the money.
That's true.
But she did it. But she didn't. So I'm all for her. And I forget Granny, and the COVID.
Yeah, that girl gave it to her. So
you knew she had to have COVID. From the time you sneezed in the pandemic, you were supposed to be out the building.
I know, right?
So that means that the inspector lady has COVID too, because she sneezed directly in her mouth.
She did.
Straight up in her mouth.
They might have took her out.
Well, because I said, if they keep her with allergies, that's the kink in the show, because this show, it's really emotional. It touches on every emotional aspect in life, and I love that about the show. So thank you, Jay, for allowing me to watch P-Valley, because yes, I was not looking at it. I only watched it from Thursday of last week, but I appreciate it because I absolutely love the show, Jay. Thank you. Best recommendation ever.
Well, we're going to leave on that. That was perfect. And I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you enjoy it. Everybody, definitely, I thank you for coming. I'm glad you all showed up. I hope you all enjoyed me and Kelly break down this episode for the first reaction. And definitely we'll be back for more. So what did you all rate this episode? Let me know in the comments. Everybody, I hope y'all had a good weekend. And we will be back. I'll be doing The Shy and another P-Valley tomorrow. So make sure y'all tune in. I'm going to try to get that Westworld up in here. I still got to do The Boys and other stuff. So much to try to do in so little time.
Pull up in Discord. We're going to chat more about it.
There you go. All right, y'all. Everybody have a good one. Peace. And we up out of here. Deuces.
Thanks, guys.